show is brought to you by Health Plans, your Medicare plans, insurance solutions, and resource agency. We have a variety of plans and products that fit your needs, benefit requirements, and budget, with many low or no-cost premium plans, zero co-pays, and much more. Our licensed benefits advisor's priority is your health and well-being. Call us today and book your no-obligation consultation. 1-929-367-5269. Coming up next is Double Impact.
Well, hello.
Hey, everyone.
Welcome back. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm John C. Morley, and here's my other co-host,
Hurricaneh.
and together we make Double Impact.
There you go.
Speaking about Double Impact, I was watching a show, HH. I usually don't watch TV, especially when I'm in Florida visiting with my parents in Naples, but they're staying with me for another couple of days. They leave on basically the day after Halloween. And the reason I'm mentioning this with Double Impact, which no pun intended, but it's kind of funny. There's a show called The Cube. Okay. And you start with 1,000, you go up to 250,000, and you have to beat the cube. And the cube is very sarcastic. And basically one of the things was called an impact, where you had to, the couple or wherever two people went into the cube had to hit the target at exactly the same precise second. That's really impact, baby.
That's double.
Yeah, and if you don't get it right, you just lost a life. They give you 9 lives. That's how it works.
Ooh, okay. Interesting stuff. Hey, well, we don't give any limited lives. So, hey, you have all the lives in this world. In the show, this is open territory, folks. You're watching right now. It is live. Chat with us. And let's just, have a discussion. You have any questions, you have any comments, you can criticize, whatever you want to do. It's all good. We're here for education, enlightenment, and fun stuff as well. And we share some good things. I think over we're actually on the 11th edition right now. So, hey. So
can you believe it already?
What happened?
I can't believe that already. We're going to be in November soon.
I know it's yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's moving fast. But that's how it is, right? It's all good though. I hope that I think our audiences have received some good stuff out there, and you've taken some nuggets here and there from John and myself, and hopefully you can apply some of those things. And this is not your regular structured show, and we did that on purpose because we just having a chat. You can join us in the chat, send us your comments, and we can just, bug out together. Right? That's the fun part. But we'll talk about things that, just we experience or we're aware of, or we think that it should have an impact on people, and maybe you can do something about. So that being said, I know John and I were just talking about Santa Claus a minute ago.
Yes. I got off the phone with him just a little while ago, and I called North Pole, and Santa said it's really cold. I was talking to Mrs. Claus, and she was saying that she had to make him some extra hot chocolate with the extra thick marshmallows. But anyway, I was having a nice jolly old call with good old Saint Nick, and I said, "Hey, Santa, I was wondering if you can help us out this year. I know you came down to visit us last year. We want to do something really spectacular. So I was wondering if you would come out to Dave & Buster's in Wayne, New Jersey, and help us take pictures with all the fine, good little boys and girls." And he said yes. He said, why the heck not? He said, I'd love to go to Dave & Buster's. He said, I love that place. He says, the food, he says, puts a few extra pounds on his belly, but he loves playing all those games. And he says, Rudolph's always very jealous with the other reindeers because they can't come in and play these games.
I love it. I love Dave & Buster's myself. So, hey, I think everybody that's been there would know that it's a fun place. There's a lot of good things, good food, and it's just a good, fun hanging out place. So, hey, Santa, we'll see you there. Only a couple months away.
Very, very happy that that he's going to come. I mean, I think this is going to be like really, really cool.
So now here's the thing, folks. I mean, we'll probably meet you there. We'll meet him there with you.
We're going to be there on December 4th, and it's going to be pretty cool.
We are.
Okay. Yeah. It's going to be a pretty cool show. We're going to be there in the morning till about the afternoon, and tickets are going fast. So you definitely want to. We'll give you the link, but you can get your ticket and get in there. And also the prices go up $10 if you buy after Thanksgiving. So you want to buy before Thanksgiving.
Well, the holidays are around us, and we're just chilling, John and I before this broadcast here, and we were talking about it, and it is starting to feel the holidays. You can see the Halloween business going on right now, and of course, I mean, for those in the U.S. Or anywhere potentially where they celebrate Halloween, I think it's only in the U.S. And we're not talking about religion and beliefs here, which I was just talking about culture. So we can we can certainly defer the discussion whether the merits of each holiday, but really just for the fun and giggles here, the idea is that it's holiday time, and it's every month after month there's something good going on, and again, Halloween is just costumes and fun and candy and kids having fun. That's on the cultural side. And so without getting deeper on the back, end of that, we're not digging there. And then, of course, we have, because, so, how it is, John, right? Some people are not really pro Halloween, and some people feel that it's just not a religious, piece, and it's maybe anti some religion, beliefs, and you get, and again, we kind of discussed religion, or we don't actually discuss religion, period, because it gets a little tight. People get excited about it. We respect every religion, every belief, so that's the bottom line. But certainly, it is for the kids. If you see them, they enjoy the moment. They go out, they dress up. I mean, not even kids. I mean, at work, I mean, my office has been decorated for already a month. So,
oh wow,
yeah.
Now they're doing a whole thing where they're combining Halloween and Christmas. They're calling it a Hallow Xmas.
Oh, all right. Well, see,
I think that's just a little bit. I think that's just a little bit much. I'm sorry.
I would agree. I mean, that's going to take.
I feel like it's knocking the holidays, right over.
Well, might as well not even have it. I just have it's one holiday and that's it. One day we celebrate all. We'll dress up. We'll do all the family thing and that's it. No, of course not. It is strange that that's happening. And I don't even know why that's coming from. Somebody thought about it, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Was it the COVID, and then now everything is here, so everybody wants things to happen because this year things are all around. So I don't know. It's like I think people need to just slow down and drink the Kool-Aid or what have you.
Listen, I personally still believe it's nice to have each one separated, and we look forward to month. There's something going on, and it just happens to be a fun place. Like October, it's Halloween, and then you have Thanksgiving, and then you have the main holidays, and then you have New Year's Eve, and then you have a break, and then you have Valentine's Day, and then you have Easter, and then we have summertime. We have all the other stuff. But you look at those things; they keep you going from one to the other, and there's a lot of things in between, and it's fun stuff. And you're right. I mean, that's going to take a little bit of the flavor away from the whole thing. Again, I have not. This is the first time I'm hearing about it, so we'll take it for what it's worth. We'll listen. We'll watch. We'll see what's going on. Now,
I think that's probably the best thing. But I mean, I think a lot of people are excited about the holidays. They want things to happen, and I think that's a good thing. But I think the one thing I see is that people don't. I don't know. They're rushing things too much. So I feel that if we don't rush things, we could actually enjoy the moment. And by enjoying the moment, having a hot chocolate with our loved ones, or just being grateful to be alive.
That let's talk about that. So now we go into the real thing, right? I mean, we had a little fun, and but because people will be like, what are you guys talking about? How is that a double impact, right? Well,
everything we do is an impact. I mean, everything in our life is an impact. So I think it's just this gets off to something I'll get into real quickly, not too long, and that is the fact that everything in life is a perception. I had a show last week, IFYO. We talked about lenses and the fact that the reason you react or don't react is because of perception. Perceptions are nothing more than a lens we put on a camera or on our eyes or our body, and we either see something or don't see something, and then we act or don't act. So if you're not acting, I guess you're using the wrong lens. Maybe you were shopping at Walmart too much.
Hey, I do go to Walmart every now and then. So.
I know, but not for lenses. Not for lenses. They're bad for lenses.
There's places for lenses, right?
Yeah. Not Walmart.
I
they
mean,
don't
again,
have good lenses.
If you want the cheap stuff, listen. I mean, Walmart.
And then you're going to miss half of life because the lens isn't going to show you half the things.
Well, here's the good news. I mean, I love the analogy to lenses, and it's real. I mean, it's perception, right? You said it. It's everybody's looking at it from their own angle and how you see it, and but you're right. I mean, while we're talking about, again, something that could be fun, but the idea of even thinking about holidays is important, and there's always something behind those days that we look forward to, and you mentioned about being grateful, and gratitude is a huge thing, and I had a few shows before talking about gratitude and being grateful for the people in your life. I mean, how many of us thank the people that have been in our lives and helped us through our paths? I mean, there is someone thinks that they're succeeded in their life, they have succeeded and everything is good and they just did the best thing and they give credit to themselves. I think there's something wrong with that, because no matter how good we are or how smart we are, without the help of others in our paths and some other folks are that come on our way, it's not going to happen. So we ought sometimes to just take a pause and relax and just admire the people that were there for you. And it doesn't matter, actually, even the ones that weren't there for you and were against you, I'm going to be grateful to them too, because they taught me a few lessons that I took on the road.
Exactly right. I was saying this the other week, and it was the fact that all these people are busy. So when I go to these people now and they ask me to do something, I say, I'm not going to give the typical, and I'll name our towns, lame excuse that I'm busy. See, I'm not really busy, but I've just got a lot of the things that have a higher priority than what this is currently right now. Oh. And I think some people, I don't know, they don't share the truth, or they just feel that, they got to put this air on. You know what I mean? Like, and then when you suddenly need something, they have their hand out. But when they need something, they've got more than their hands. They've got their arms, their legs. They got everything out with a basket ready to catch everything. So I feel that that's a problem. But it's only a problem if you let it become a problem. If you embrace life from the point that, this is where the people are right now, and respect it. You don't have to judge them, but I'm not going to let their BS, excuse the French, get in the way of my success. That's the biggest thing I've learned in the last couple of years, is that I can't let other people's, let's say, procrastination or their lackadaisical attitude or their me first attitude get in the way of John becoming successful.
Well, again, but that is a big deal. I mean, I think a lot of people do face that in reality. And I mean, I mind the fact that we're talking about it now, but really people watching or listening today or any other time, this particular show, that is huge, because people usually look up for themselves, right? Number one, right? And somebody can even challenge this. Well, you just said on the way, in the way of John, or in John's way. And so then they reverted. Well, you're looking up for yourself, John. But the fact is, yes, we are, but there's a give and take, right? It's a two-way street. And
absolutely. You've got to have that dichotomy, that gentle balance. But when the scale, I mean, it's okay if it's like this a little bit. But when the scale is like that, well, that's a problem. And
serious.
Yeah, and I started telling some people in a nice way. I said, I know I don't have this problem with you, but I just wanted to make you aware of it, so you at least know why I'm being a schmuck and some people, because people that are gonna, try to pound on John, I'm gonna kind of come back in a nice way. I'm gonna put my foot down and say no, not because I don't want to. I'm going to say no because it's going to disrespect me.
Well, again, there is the power of saying yes. There's the power of saying no.
Absolutely.
We need to know when to use those, effectively, and that some people have the ability to say that and to know when to stop and say hello, hold it. And
Hello?
some people
Okay.
hold that thought, don't do it, or whatever the case may be. And some people, they have difficulty maybe, and so they try to escape that by either not showing up or disappearing or just finding another way to commit to this discussion type. But basically they play evasive maneuvers as opposed to facing it in the heads on and just like, hey, listen, we got to do something about it. I mean, sometimes it's good to have a discussion and just talk about your feelings, respectfully, of course. You don't go swinging. You just say, as you said, you can put the foot down, but it's like, hey, make a stand for yourself, for your opinion, for whatever it is, and you say enough is enough. Especially when someone is always taking advantage, taking more from you, wanting to take more and more and more. That's a problem.
Exactly. It's a big problem, but you don't have to become this big bad wolf. Okay, you can just do something very subtle. You can just, are we ready? Not be there. Huh? What do you mean not be there? Just don't be there. Do other things. And you're going to wonder, actually, they're going to wonder too, what happened to you? Oh, don't say busy. I'm just working on some things that have a higher priority. Now, that sounds a lot nicer than saying I'm busy, because busy is just a way I find of just kind of like throwing it in your face. They're not busy. They just say that. And I'll even tell you, well, I'm busy working on some projects. I'm busy working on getting Santa to town, and I'm busy trying to make sure he has all his presents. So these are higher priorities for me than coming to a charity dinner. Hope you'll understand.
Well, again, let's break that down. I mean, we briefly started talking about gratitude and being grateful, and then we talked about the ability to actually kind of stop, and really tell people when you need to tell them off or just kind of like back off, right? So let's go back to the gratitude, and then we go into this. I mean, the importance of being grateful for everything you have and and anybody around you before and now and even in the future. That's important. And to your point, there are people that did good for you. There are people that did bad. Those that did bad for you, you've learned from them. And some of them could be those people that just took so much from you and took advantage. And, there was a point where you said, enough. Now, some people, like I said, they just move away and they disappear from their life and they just eliminate them. Some people, they just take the courage to actually, face them and say, this was nice. You didn't do the right thing, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? We got to cut this. Sometimes by talking about it, you might just get it out of your chest, as we say, and just moving on. Because sometimes it's in within you, and it causes a little bit of a bad sensation. You don't want to have that. Because it affects your life and business.
As long as your separation is not causing you to feel bad. If you can separate yourself from what it is, and it's okay and you're fine and it doesn't make you feel bad, then that's fine. Some people, let's face it, they have big egos and they're not going to respond well to, well, I don't like the way you're. That's like telling somebody who goes 120 miles an hour, hey, could you kind of just keep it in 65? No way. I'm going to go 100 or 200. If a cop's there, I'll do 400. Like, it's like they have something to prove. And it's interesting because I thought that ended when you left high school and college, but I'm seeing that that's still something that's very apparent in adults, which shocked me a few years ago.
It's very interesting, but you're right. This is not. I mean, at work you see it in business, transactions and family members. See a lot of places where you have these things, and ego, as you said, is the biggest culprit here because I think we all have ego. I mean, there's no person on this earth that doesn't have a level of ego, but it's how you manage it.
Ego is good for our health. I mean, ego is good for our motivation, but there's a point when we don't keep it in check.
Well, yeah, again, I mean, too much of everything is bad, right?
Yeah, moderation.
Everything's moderation. but really with ego, it can be disastrous for people. I've seen people get, power trips, and they think that they own the world, and then the world eventually faces them with the reality of things, and what goes up, must come down sometimes, and it is always, harder when you actually fall down the other side, right? And gravity pulls. But the idea is that when you are, whatever position you are, whatever you're part of this world, know that you're not. You're never gonna, be bigger than mountains, or crack the ground if you walked on it. I mean, we're not that heavy, right? So you're light still, and when you look at your magnitudes as a human in this, real large universe, I mean, we're very, very tiny. We're not even actually on the map. When you actually look at the galaxies,
Sure,
the
sure,
Earth is just
absolutely.
a little, piece of sand, and maybe like a sand grain in an ocean. I mean, whatever, a drop of water in the ocean. But the bottom line is, we're not that great, no matter how we think. And you got sometimes to hold your horses. Just be, modest. I think modesty, be humble, is a key player.
I think being humble is great.
Mm.
And being modest takes a skill. I think a lot of people appreciate that.
Yeah.
When you get people that are, like the people a lot of people want to follow, and they always say, if you're hiring a guide, make sure they have climbed the mountain before you. Now, that's not about being humble. That's about making sure somebody has the skills so that you don't die. But
Well, yeah.
and I think in life, there's a lot of people that want to say they know everything, but I will tell you, one of the biggest things you can do is not gloat about knowing everything. Just go about living your life. And when you're silent, carrying that big stick, more people are going to approach you and ask you, how are you doing that? As opposed to saying, well, hey, I'm here, I got this stick, and I can build the Taj Mahal. Good for you.
Well, but that's true. I mean, but it is unfortunate. But psychologically speaking, I mean, people sometimes they do buy into that whole power, trip business, and like, I'm it, and I own the world, and I got this, and Kinka got nothing on me, that kind of expression, that, what I mean, you get to that point where you really, like, get, nice and too full of yourself, and yourself, and it's not a cool thing. And well, all you're doing is, like, people can read through that very quickly. So
Absolutely. And I have to tell you that if you have somebody that has that big ego, here's something you can do to diffuse it. First thing is, don't feed into it. The second thing you want to do is, if there's something they're doing not related to what the ego's about, something different, or this is going to backfire in your face, give them a subtle compliment. Maybe they're telling you about how they're the top financial whatever in the world. They're the top this, the top expert in this. You could just say, you know what? I really like the way you made these cookies. And it has nothing to do with the cookies. It's just that ego stroking is going to bring them down a few notches. Not in a bad way, but like, hey, I'm trying to be a little humble. People say when you want to bond with somebody or break bread with them, you need to be a little humble. You need to be a little vulnerable. Now, I'm not telling you to share the piece de resistance, but I'm saying you need to share something, and they'll usually share something of equal humbleness or vulnerability. And I think that's a challenge for a lot of people in life. They don't want to share their vulnerability because they want to show that they're invincible. I think that has been something with gentlemen for a while, the machoism, and I get it. I just feel that, isn't enough? Like, okay, you're so powerful and you're this, but okay, now who cares? Like, what else is there to you? All you do is you're some strong person and you do this, and is that all there is to you? I mean, is there anything else in you? And I think you have to step back and realize that, as I said before, the map is not the territory. And what I mean by that in this case is that what you think is important is not important. And when you become humble, when you start looking at the glass half full instead of half empty, you start to see these situations. You start to gain a perspective. the lens that comes from a professional camera store. You start to be able to decipher what's the truth and what's bogus. And I know that when you make a choice to become humble, there are going to be people around you that are going to make fun of you. There are going to be people around you that are going to want to leave you. My attitude is some will, some won't. So what? Next. And you can't get so drawn in by the fact that, you can't live up to their standard. Don't even try. Because the fact that you're trying to live up to their standard has already set yourself back a few notches. Live your own life. Live your own dreams. And if people don't like your dreams, then it's not really their problem. If you're happy with what you're doing, it's all that matters.
Powerful. Well, John, the idea is that this is everybody's journey is different, right? And again, you meet someone and they have so much pride and ego. That's great. But to your point, if you buy into that Kool-Aid and you're like constantly like almost like worshiping them, or like giving them a little bit of fire up there, but
too much sugar, too much sugar.
Too much sugar, exactly. So you know what I mean. It becomes a problem. You don't have to subscribe to other people's pace and whatever. That's the other thing. Like we have this almost pressure going on these days in the world in general, right? Like especially in social media and stuff. People are doing this, millionaires and this. Listen. There's nothing good for them. I love to see everybody as a millionaire. To be honest with you, it will be a cool thing, cool world to be in, right? But at the end of the day, people have different angles, different things, different, circumstances where things happen to them. And I'm not talking about this as like they just make money. People work for that money. And, the question is, what have you done, you personally, before you can actually judge these folks? And are you doing something for your own path? Because your path may not be to be a millionaire. Maybe you'll be something different, and if you are on the flip side and you are that person that people look up to you, well, guess what? That's also good, especially in the world of influencers. And, that's all good. But, where were you a few years ago? You were not always there, right? That's yes.
Exactly.
Yep.
I think this comes down to, I had a situation where I had one of these egoistical neighbors, and they had some question on Facebook, which we were all commenting on about some new building that they were building. And we're all chiming in what we thought about. And it was funny how this one person who I haven't talked to in a while because I've been quote unquote preoccupied suddenly feels the need to answer me, but doesn't answer anybody else. So that usually happens when somebody feels like they're out of the loop. You miss a few meetings, they don't see you. Now you comment, oh, John, yeah, they're building a such and such there. Well, how come they didn't respond when the other 17 people started chatting about it? It's like it wasn't important enough for them. And I find this reminds me of love. When you go away, absence makes the heart grow fonder. And so I don't just mean in a romantic relationship, I mean in a platonic relationship. When you are not around and you are making your own Kool-Aid, or maybe you're making your own health drink, hopefully, or smoothie, people are going to want to taste your smoothie. They're going to want to have it because it's different. And I just feel that the best way to win when you have those people is to not even try. It's to not to try to compete. Just live your life. And if they come around, they come around. If they don't, so what? I mean, it doesn't make your life any better or worse if they come around. So you have to realize that these people, they're trying to feed an ego. And when they try to feed it, if they're not getting ego food from you, they're going to disconnect for the moment. Now, they might come to their senses and wake up later on, but then they may not. And if they don't, you don't need to be wasting your life on the fact that, oh my gosh, that person didn't come back. What am I going to do now? Well, you're going to move on. You're going to find somebody else, and you're going to enjoy your life. And life goes on. Oh bloody, oh blada, da 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 da. Life goes on.
Well, this goes back to the discussion when it's lopsided, right? Someone is just taking or whatever, and they're not giving as much. That's a good, I guess point where you have to decide that I'm out of here, done. And come back later when you actually back down from your high horses.
That's exactly right. And when you expect these people to help you, which you want them to help you because they're your friends, and usually your friends are going to support you in whatever you do, personal, business. You want them to support you because you believe they're your friends. But what I'm here to tell you is they're not right now. They're acquaintances. And acquaintances, unfortunately, are very jealous people. And they don't want to see you or I get just a little bit further than them. Even though we've worked for it, they don't want to see that. And so when you got somebody like that, it's important to not challenge them and to just live your life. And if they come around, they do. If they don't, they don't. I feel that this happens a lot with certain industries of people, not always, but it does. And it also happens when there is this club or association that they have to prove to the boys that, I'm the top dog. I thought that was just a college thing or a high school thing, but it's not. Well, which car did I get? Oh, well, what features did you get? Oh, and what paint job did you get? Oh, and which tire package did you get? Did you spend for the 10,000 or did you just get the one that was 500? Oh, you got the cheap one, didn't you? So these things sound immaterial, and they are. But what's materialistic about them is the fact that people harp on them to decide where you fit in their social class. And I think that's the part that is probably the most disparaging of all. Well, this brings me to another thought, as things often do. A lot of people work from home. A lot of people work from work, right? So we have recently, you want to check out my article at believemeachieve.com. John's daily, not John's daily, but John's recent articles. I wrote an article the other day about WFO versus WFH versus WFO. Work from home versus work from office. And what I said is, this isn't everybody, but a lot of people in the workforce are abusing the system. So if you have people that you want to work from home, first you got to make sure you give them the right resources and the right tools that are equal or better to what they'd have in the office. That's number one, because the company is the first blame, not the employee or the contractor. If they don't give them the right tools to be able to operate a home, oh, we can't do that because we don't have access to that server. Well, that's not the employee's responsibility. Or the phone calls don't come through. The second thing is, this is a big pet peeve of mine. You call a number. I had this happen to me the other day. I dialed the number. I'm not going to tell you what company. I will tell you the type of company. It was a cell phone company. But you probably can figure out who it is. And I called them, and I said to the person, because I think there was some kind of an issue with something I got in the mail. And I'm like, why did I get this phone sent to me? I didn't wear a new phone, but I got sent a new phone. Oh, don't worry about it. We sent it to you. I said, well, I want to find out why. So I call this one person. It's like, yeah, I'm not able to help you with that, Mr. John. I'm going to take some information. Just allow me 2 to 5 minutes, please. I'm going to get some information, and I'm going to send you off to my colleague. Okay. And if I'm not able to do that, then I'm going to give you a number you can call back to reach them directly. So I called somebody. I waited 10 minutes to speak to them. You're going to go, yeah, I'm going to transfer you to my colleague now. Thank you for holding. So I transfer. Hello, can I help you? Do you know why I'm on the phone? No, thank you for calling. How can we help you? Did you read the notes yet in the screen? No. Perhaps you want to maybe log in and maybe read the notes. There's a whole bunch of notes in there. Oh, okay. Starts reading. Okay, and how can I help you? I said, did you read the notes? Yeah, I did. Okay,
That drives me nuts, man.
And I was like, what did I just say? Okay, you wanted to buy a phone, right? No, keep reading. Goes and reads again. He's like, and he says, so what's your problem? I said, I'm just going to tell him. You guys sent me another phone on an account that I don't use. Oh, okay. So you want to return it? No, I want to understand Am I being billed for it? Am I not? I'm going to have to get you to the billing department because we don't handle the billing. We handle customer service. So now I'm shipped over to billing. Do you have your PIN number? Yeah, I put my PIN number in. Okay, can you verify the last 4 digits of the bank account? Yes. Okay, and what was your mother's maiden name? Okay, great. And can you tell me what was your first car? Would you like my blood type too? Okay, no, I'm sorry. This is just a question for the security of your account.
Okay.
And now I've answered all these stupid questions, and the guy says to me, he says, okay, and how can I help you? I said, so you don't have access to the notes that the other guy had to. Oh no, that's a different department. We can't access that's part of the system. That's customer service. We're in billing. I said, it would be a good idea. The billing customer service could actually use the same darn system. And I could, yeah, it might be a good idea, but that's not in my department. So I said, I'd just like to know, am I being charged for this device? And I go, oh yeah, we sent you a brand new such and such. I said, am I being charged? Can you hold just 2 to 3 minutes? Let me look up your account. Looks up the account. Oh, okay, we ship it to you. There's no charge for the shipping. Am I being charged for the phone? Well, let me see here. Looks, he says, oh, good news. No, you're not being charged. Well, can I ask why? Oh, sure. So you had one of the phones on your account, not the primary phone, but one of the phones on your account was using 3G, and we're discontinuing that. So we sent you out a 4G phone free of charge. I said, oh, that was nice. Yes, is there anything else I can do for you? No. I said, I just wish this process would have taken more than an hour and 15 minutes to get this answer. Well, thank you so much, Mr. John, for calling, and thank you for being the best part of Up Company. You really make our company. You made our day. And I'm like, yeah, right. I'm saying to myself. So my point with that whole scenario is that these people, they're not doing their job right. Now, this company is a multi-billion-dollar company. They give them the tools, but they just don't. They're not doing it. They're not doing customer service. They're doing customer service. Customer service. It's a new profession. Customer service. You can get paid minimum or less. You can actually feed your kids. You can make dinner. You can actually vacuum your floor. You can reorganize your closet. You can talk to your partner. You can feed your dog. That's customer service. That's customer service that's doing everything else that's more important before you, and they're trying to help you as a secondary thing. See, that pisses me off. When I call somebody and you got kids yelling in the background, oh, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Well, maybe if you were in a quiet room without kids screaming and yelling, you'd actually be able to hear me. Okay, I'm so sorry on that one, sir. And I understand we had to be sympathetic. I get it. But would you be able to bring in a big Doberman Shepherd to the office? No. Would you be able to put a popcorn machine on your desk and start making popcorn while you're on the telephone? Probably not. Or would you be able to watch Netflix, put your feet up on the desk, and just pay more attention to the characters there? Oh, excuse me, I'm in the middle of a plot. Can you hold on a second? Oh, let me see. I don't know if he's going to kill her. So, what are you doing? Well, there's this big show on. I've been watching. It's a trilogy. Oh, really? I watched that one too. And if you got something like that, that's even worse. But my point is that they're becoming disassociated with the customer or the client, and they're portraying a bad image on the company, bad customer service. So if you make a choice to use remote workers, you got to make sure there's some way to police them. You got to make sure that the image of your company is holding up. Or you know what's going to happen? Some of the companies going to grab your customers.
So John, you just opened a big can of worms for me. I mean,
Okay.
I have a big serious problem when it comes to call centers. I
Didn't
want
even
to
know
take a
that.
moment. Oh, dude, you have no idea. First of all, I've run a few of them, and
Me too. I set up the largest one in America for Medicare Part A and Part B when I graduated college. And they hire all temporary workers. They're not even full-time people because they don't want to give them benefits.
Oh yeah,
it was on Palmetto, South Carolina.
We're not going to ask for the name here.
No, we're not going to ask for the name. But Part A, Part B, they still run Part C, so you could look it up.
Well, talking about Part A, B, and C. This is the season for us, in the health, insurance, Medicare space. So that's my world, on a day-to-day basis. And this is actually the annual election period, so everything is really going crazy. And it was just like, everybody, you probably turn any channel right now, local channels are going to have some sort of an ad about Medicare. But going back to the topic about call centers, right? And so you have the issue of staff, the issue of training, the issue of IVRs, and technology, sometimes even AI. I mean, these things drive me nuts. I mean, you call, and then the issue of departments not using the same systems. I mean, that is like the craziest thing.
They don't talk to each other, or we don't have. I can't transfer you because you're on a different line.
Yeah, well, that's besides. And then, hold on, and they transfer you, and they drop the call, or then you have to repeat yourself 10,000 times. And to your point, they're not seeing the notes. It's unbelievable. One system, folks. If you're gonna start anything that has to do with a customer, it should, be one screenshot that anybody types in here. The other guy has it, the other lady has it, and so on and so forth. Period and out. That's how it's supposed to work. I'm serious. So I go nuts with these things. And the other thing is, talking about the ability to won't transfer. What happened to that? I got you on the phone. Hello, Mrs. Jones. I got, John with me here. Here's the story, blah, blah, blah. Before, and then they put you on the call. So the person is like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, John. Let me see what I can do. I think I looked it up already. This is not going to take an hour. This is a 5-minute thing. And John, what's the worst part? Sorry.
But what happens with that? What's the worst part of it?
No, the worst part of it is that, dude, call centers have those KPI metrics that you have to meet.
Yeah, I know.
So you don't want to be on a call for an hour and a half. So you want to catch with other members. Therefore, do the right job.
You'll get written up, and you might not get your bonus that week, that month.
My point. And so if that's the case, so we don't want to rush people, but we don't want to also extend people and keep bouncing them. Oh, it's not my job. It's not my job. And just rolling the ball to the other guy. That's not how it works. And again,
they should all be taking accountability, but they don't.
Keyword accountability. I always say this to people, folks. Very small book will change your life. If you're in business, read this. Even if you're live, it's called the Oz Principle. I was turned to this years back. I applied that system. It's very simple. Accountability, above the line, below the line. See it, own it, solve it, do it. Simple concepts about accountability. Everybody should actually buy into it. Everybody should get that pill. It's called accountability. It makes a big difference. And
I agree with you. But what happens with these call centers? So you get the call center on the phone, and now what they try to do, like they'll send me over to you. Oh, hi, HH. Okay. So let me ask you a question. Was I blind transferred to you, or was this a warm transfer? Because they can do a warm transfer without you on the phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. In other words, did they introduce who I am, my name, and no. So they just dropped the call right in your lap, and you have no freaking clue why I'm here. And are there any notes? I don't think so. How can I help you? And the best one is I was helping a customer tonight. Microsoft. They're an interesting pet peeve of mine. Google too, but you call. I'll talk. Oh, this is gonna be fun. We're gonna have fun tonight. So Microsoft. I call Microsoft, and we actually should patch them in. We should do that and actually explain something. So anyway, I was helping a customer, and he was using Microsoft Office 365. Too bad for him. Where they had the hosted account. By the way, if you pay that $6.99, you don't get Office 365. You get a hosted wannabe version. You don't get the software. You got to pay $14.99. Just buy the perpetual license, and you could buy it every few years. So we call Microsoft. Thank you for calling Microsoft. And they ask you all these questions. So you answer the question. Now, here's the thing. I had a customer so frustrated. He says, John, he says, what number are you calling? I said, I'm calling the one number. Oh, I tried to call that person. I couldn't get a live person. Well, you didn't answer the right questions. What do you mean? Well, it's all in the way you answer the questions. What the heck does that mean? Well, they asked for certain information. Yeah. What the heck is that? And he's saying some other words with F, and I was like, well, doctor, you're not using the right vocabulary with them. You have to use the right syntax, So what the heck is all that? And then all of a sudden I hit a button. It's like, thank you for calling Microsoft support. This is Shasheen. How can I help you? Hello there, Shasheen. Listen, I'm with the doctor on the phone here. Oh, okay. Is he the customer? He's the customer. Okay, so I can't talk to you. We're actually on a conference call. Can you approve that I go? Okay, can I verify some information? Sure, you can, whatever you want. Goes through the whole thing. He says, listen, you're going to talk to my tech guy. Enough of this BS. So I said, you're billing him, even though I tried to cancel the account. Okay, see, we don't handle billing in this department. This is just the customer service and the tech support department. Have you tried to open a case through the Microsoft Administration Center? We can't log into the freaking Administration Center. Aha, I see. So you need tech support? Oh, we need to know what our name is. Have you tried to send us an email? Well, which email address? Let me get you over to somebody in support. You want support or do you want billing? Well, I think I want billing. Okay, because the billing is going to ask you for the number because they can't get that for you. So they send us to the billing. Can you help us? And what's your Microsoft domain? Now, it's some real freaking long domain like Dr. such and such .on.microsoft.com.on.f.online. I mean, I'm making. And he goes, okay. And what's your username? We don't know our username. Okay, I'm going to need to send you to tech support because, see, I can't assist you until you verify your username. And I'm just like, are you serious? Yeah, unfortunately, it's our policy. We can't go in for security compliance. So they get me over to tech support. We verify the information. They go through all the information. I said, we want to cancel the account. Okay, we can't help you cancel the account. I'm going to transfer you back to billing, and they can help you with cancellation. So now we go back to billing. I said, remember I was talking to you before? I don't remember. You don't remember? I have a good memory. You sent me all the way over to tech support. I wasted 20 minutes to get the username because you couldn't look it up. No, I can look it up, but we're not allowed. So you're making me more angry. So I said, you were better off keeping your mouth shut. I was at least going to be giving you an honorable. And so I said, I'd like to cancel. Okay, would you like us to give you 50% off? Because we could do that for the next 6 months. Would that be okay? And then we could keep the account? No, we want to cancel the account. Okay, which account? We want to cancel the whole thing. Well, if you cancel your account, you're not going to be able to log in anymore. We understand that. Do you know what credit card you use for the billing? We're not sure. Okay, well, you're going to have to know the billing, the last 4 years of the bill, because I can't tell you which card it was. So we go through this. Was it a checking? Was it a billing? Was it a credit card? So we go through 4 or 5. He's going through 4 or 5 credit cards. It's like, okay, yes, that is the one. Yes, and can I ask you your mother's maiden name? Okay, and now can I ask you, why is it that you want to cancel Microsoft award-winning cloud Office 365 services? It's too much money, and it's a disaster. Okay, I see on that one, sir. I see. Okay, I'm going to help you cancel. I'm going to send you a code now. What? I'm going to send you a code to your email, or I can send it to your phone, and you can prove to me that you are who you say you are. Even after we verified a million pieces of media, I want to aggravate you even more, so I'm going to send you a code. Other cell phone companies do too. Okay, I can't talk to you. I'm going to send a code to your phone. Can you just verify that so I know I'm talking to the right person? And so now, after an hour and a half, okay, sir, I'm going to go ahead and cancel the account now. Once we click cancel, we cannot undo this process. Okay, I'm going to send you a link, and you can click on the cancel button because I can't do it. I'm going to send you a form, and you can click on the cancel button. Once you do that, the account will be canceled. We click on the link, and what about the $18 that my customer was billed erroneously last month because she wants to refund it? Okay, I can't help you with that. You're going to need to log into the mic. We just canceled the account. Oh, yeah, you're not going to be able to do that. So how do I do that? Well, we're going to have to get you to doctors. You know what? The heck with it. You can keep the $18 and stick it somewhere. Okay, thank you so much, sir. Is there anything else I can do for you? You're going to get a survey in 5 to 7 days.
Oh, it's going to be like 0.1, not 1.
And I got one more that was interesting. So I had a problem with a laptop. Now, not going to mention the name, but it's probably one of the highest end laptops. I own about 15 of them. And I pay for the support because it's cheaper to have them just fix it than it would be even for me to touch it. I pay like $200 for a 6-year warranty for a $3,000 laptop. Pretty good deal. Nice. Doesn't pay for me to look at the thing, for it to change a part. So company. How would you like this? I take the laptop and something stops working. So I bring it in to service it. And they tell me they can't service it. There's more than 2 things wrong with it, and we have to send it out to field to the manufacturers. There's only one thing wrong with it. So now I go on the phone, I send it out to the sender, and they say it's going to take 28 days. I don't know why, but this is what they say. And so now they're looking at my laptop, and it's already on its way back in less than 3 or 4 days. I said, well, this is pretty good. I get the laptop back. I take it out of the box. I said, well, this looks good. First, I noticed a few scratches on it. I said, laptop was just about new. How'd it get so scratched? So I opened the laptop up, and I'm like, where's the darn F3 key and where's the backspace key? Where'd it go? They sent the keyboard back without the F3 key and the backspace key. So I politely called them up, and she says, oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Morley. You don't have on-site support. You have depot support. I might have lost HH there for a minute, but hopefully he'll come back and join us there in just a second. But anyway, they said we had depot support. And so I basically couldn't get the laptop fixed on site. I had to mail it in. So I called the complaint, sent an email, and magically they actually sent an email back telling me that they were going to open up a one-tie for an on-site repair. I said, okay, great. After they do that, a couple days later, they send the part. They send the person out to change this keyboard. Now, after they change the keyboard, and I want to make sure everything works, my biometric fingerprint reader doesn't work. I said, now what am I going to do? And so I called them back, and I said, this is insane. Okay, do you want us to open up another ticket for this? I'm like, no, I want a whole new laptop. So I think the problem is, and I think HH is joining us back again. We're talking about the laptop. So basically, they couldn't come out and fix it because they didn't have on-site support. I only had premium depot support. Called them, complained, emailed them. They magically said they're going to open up a one-tie to send somebody out there at no cost to me. They send the part out. I get it in 2 or 3 days. They send a tech out. He has a job trying to call me because he can't seem to figure out how to dial on the phone, so he keeps dialing the wrong phone number for 2 days. Finally, I call them. They patch me through. He's magically coming that afternoon. He comes, changes the keyboard. Beautiful. I said, let's just check the fingerprint reader, make sure everything works. I go to use the fingerprint reader. I'm like, buddy, we got a problem here. Fingerprint reader. Oh, no, just reboot and install drivers. The drivers are already updated. All you did was change the keyboard. Yeah, did you maybe forget your password? My password, it's a biometric, like it's the same password. What do you want me to do? Well, I think they might have damaged the fingerprint reader. Yeah, that could be a problem. He opens the whole keyboard up, goes inside, he says, I said, I think they damaged that wire. Yeah, shoot, I don't have that wire. Well, what do I do? Well, we could go back to support and tell them you need another part. I said, no, the heck with this. I said, I want a whole new laptop. This is nonsense. A major publicly traded company says, I'm now trying to get the laptop replaced since September. We're now into the 3rd level of the replacement, and we can't seem to get the person to call me back because every time they send me a spec, I'm like, that's not what I want. That's not equal or better what I have. But the number they gave me doesn't even go to the right person. So that's infuriating. And then they send me 3 surveys saying, how are we doing? I'm like, do you really want me to answer that? I don't think you do. I don't know what these people are up to, but they're destroying support. And the cable company is not any better, HH. I'm not sure if you might have froze here on us.
I'm sorry, say it one more time. I lost you.
I said the cable company is not any better. That they're unbelievable. They're terrible.
Dude, I stopped calling this customer service. Yeah, again, I was telling you earlier, I'm really frustrated with these things because I operate them. I know how to do them. It's not rocket science. It's a very simple process. You train your people correctly. It's called customer service.
It's definitely called customer service, and he'll be back with us up in a second. When we think about customer service, it's service that you'd want to give your customers. It's not service you want to give your dog or an animal. It's customer service, or I like to call it client services.
Exactly.
Because a client is more deserving, right? When you go buy a high-end car, do they say you're a customer? No, no, no. You're one of our high-end clients.
Mm.
So I think it's in that
it's not
perspective.
Is that the idea is, to your point, it's frustrating from the minute you call. I mean, first of all, the IVRs, or like those voice recorded prompts, they're crazy. And then they added AI now, which if you have anything in the air that has a noise in the background, I didn't get that. I didn't get that. I mean, if you use technology, the technology has to work. Know that it happens. It's amazing. I mean, even banks now, they tell you, voice recognition. Well,
Yes.
if my voice is horsey today, what the hell? You're not gonna recognize me. I actually had a fight the other day. I swear to God. I'm like, you want your voice recognition? I don't want my damn voice recognition. The last time I had a cold, you guys didn't recognize me, and I had to prove who I was. What the hell? It was like really a nightmare. I'm like, no.
Would it be okay if we use your voice recognition during this call? No. Okay, great. We're going to voice recognize. We just said no. And it's like,
well, I'm exactly what happened. I swear that's exactly. Oh, you got verified. Like, really? I said no. I want to be verified traditionally. Traditionally, I give you my account.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the damn
exactly.
account right now. So it's the same thing. You call IVRs, then you have this new technology that haven't been, super vetted
tested.
Exactly. And then you have all these elements like to your point, billing. I don't do this. I don't do that. And then I hate, and I love, actually not hate. I love when you get to the point like I want to cancel. Oh, let me send you to retention.
Yeah, I know.
You had all the damn time to retain me. You fool. You just did not retain me. It's over. It's out. I'm going. And you know what? Sometimes these companies know that they have. And by the way, we want these companies to actually be aware of this. We are doing this for a purpose to actually help people.
Absolutely.
The leadership should listen and actually be aware. I mean, all companies are always worried about their customer base and why our numbers are not there. I'm in sales. It's all about numbers. Well, if your disenrollments, if your rates
and relationships,
well, yeah, of course. But what I'm saying, the idea is numbers is like the name of the game for any for-profit company, and most of the companies, if you're a business, you're for profit. Doesn't matter what title you have. Bottom line is, if your customers are depleting and they're leaving because of whatever it is, you should be aware of that, and you should do whatever it takes to fix that problem before it's too late. And then that's the other thing. So it's either staff or technology. Or both sometimes.
And you as a company have to make sure that you fence these properly. So I can't put all the onus on the employee or the contractor, because if you're too, excuse the oppression, stupid, to understand the technology or know how to manage your staff, you shouldn't be running a company. You should be taking a course on how to use technology, or hire somebody like to have us put stuff in there to fence people so they don't play games with you. Make sure you check like, oh, I'm making a souffle or I'm making a flan. Well, what happened? So have the camera so you can check up on them to see what's going on. That's not invading their privacy. Mm-hmm. There was a guy in another country, I forget where it was, and he sued the company. Okay, the company's in the U.S., but he works in another country, Venezuela or somewhere. He sued the company for invasion of privacy, and he won. That would have never happened in the United States of America. They're not going to the bathroom. They're literally putting it, so they can watch them. I just feel people are abusing it. But what I was saying about the cable thing is, so I had an issue right when the COVID thing was happening. I said, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to upgrade my router, put the best one in, and I'm going to upgrade my service to the 1G. Simple idea. Everything was done. Had to get a new modem. So they send a guy out, doesn't know what he's doing. Then he leaves. Okay, leaves me in worse shape than where I was. I was at 300. When he leaves, I was at 100. And the next day, I call, very frustrated. I get a phone call. Hello, is this Mr. John? Yes. Hi, I'm a kid. Yes. And I'm here to help you with your problem. What problem? Oh, we're here to help you with the internet problems, so we don't have to send a tech out. Now, I don't think this is even legitimate. I think their records are getting hacked. I think that's what's happening. Because he called me, he said, I said, and what department are you with? Oh, I'm not in a department. I just help people on the phone with the internet. He knew nothing. They gave me a modem, and I started really being with them. And I was like, being an engineer, they gave me a piece of crap. Now, for those of you that don't know, Aris happens to be the best cable modem you can get on the market. Unfortunately, the company that I was with, I won't mention the guilty or the innocent, but this company hadn't paid their bills in years, and Aris won't supply them any more modems. So they went to Venezuela. Nothing against Venezuela, or Vietnamese, and they actually had them make their VB modem. The modem is so bad, HH, that if you tip the modem over, it slows down over 90% so it doesn't overheat because they don't have a proper thermal sink inside the modem. So it doesn't catch on fire. Because when you tip them over, they used to catch on fire.
Oh my God.
You can't make this crap up.
Well, I mean, again, but that's dangerous stuff, and companies have to be aware of this. I mean, that's the part that I don't get. In every company, I mean, I'm not talking small companies, mid to large size, right? They all have like an IS department. They have these tech folks and they're gurus. They understand these things, and they should vet out these companies well. And that's what sometimes I find it weird that you got all these folks in the IS, in the Department of IT, and when they vet out softwares or platforms, they don't sometimes connect the dots with everybody else, and it's a pain, yes, because you start a process with half-ass platforms or softwares, and then now you're gonna like fix this later on, and you just kind of buy time. But what do you do by the time you fix this 3 years later, and you have now a whole slew of things that you have to capture back and fix? It's a pain. You got to do it right. Now I know you upgrade systems. Well, upgrade to the system that's going to do all the functions at once and do it in one shot. And I love the phasing part. Everybody's phasing things around. There are companies that can actually, you pay a little extra and you get all done in one time, right? So it all depends. And I'm not saying that that's always the case, because sometimes, money does talk. and you have to. But
they waste more money because they don't know what they're doing. Or they think the Joneses are doing it, so we might as well jump on that board. I'm going to give you two quick examples, and then we're going to wrap up because we're almost out of time. There's a big company that starts with a C. I won't mention the name, but you probably know who it is. We threw them out over 18, 19 years ago. Our company's 30 years young, because they were so bad that one of the phone systems that we got from them, because they decided they wanted to get in the phone market, but really didn't know what they were doing because they were in the IP world, they decided that they weren't going to test the chips well and the software. And all of a sudden, in the middle of the night, the IVR system just freezes. It hangs. Oof. An 8-port IVR. I mean, that shouldn't happen. And so we had another problem with a doctor's office where the port didn't switch from 10 to 100 to 1,000 automatically. So we refreshed it, reload the software, call them up. Okay, so you don't know how to configure the switch? No, I know how to configure the switch. Your freaking switch doesn't switch. Okay, let me give you a workaround. You can go in and you can force it to 1,000. I don't want to force it to 1,000. I want it to go 10, 100,000. I see. Okay, so we'd be happy to fix this for you. I'm going to create a case. Good. So can you send me another one? I give you a credit card. Oh, I'm so sorry. On those models, we no longer do advance replace. So what the heck does that mean to me? Well, you're going to have to send the bad switch to us. We fix it in 7 to 14 days, and we'll send it back to you. Now, how did you want us to send that back to you? Did you want to do it ground, second day, or overnight? I just say to myself, I said, are you serious? He said, yeah. So you have to send that one back. I said, tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to give my customer a brand new blah, blah, blah switch. We're going to take your switch and throw it in the effing dumpster. And I'm going to make sure that no person in my company ever buys a bloody thing from your company again. And if they do, I'm going to personally make sure that they're fired. Okay, sir. Thank you so much for calling today. Is there anything else we can do for you? No. Maybe work for a company that actually gives a damn about their customers. Okay, sir. I thank you for the feedback. Thank you. I'm going to tell management. You do that. Bye-bye. So you can't make this crap up. And when the leading banks in the world threw this company out, okay, and took a company that starts with an F, who I've been in love with probably for over 20 years, they just weren't big then. It's funny how a precedent changes things. But I think people, they want to be like the Joneses. But the last thing I want to leave you with is I had a tip from a reporter that contacted me. And every day I get these tips. Sometimes I write them, sometimes I don't. And I decided to make this my tip for the day. So I wrote about a 600-700 word article. And the title is How to Add New Features. Now you might be saying, what the heck is that about? Well, I decided to kind of divulge what goes wrong with features and what you should be doing. And I'm not just talking about features of software. I'm talking about process. I'm talking about products. And I went through the whole gamma of stages that you need to go through. The very first stage you need to go through when you are about to design or develop something is you need to survey. You need to figure out what you have now and get the feedback, take their temperature. And don't just do it once, keep doing it. And then you have to go to the next stage, which is your resources. But people don't do this. And I explained in my article that, in the world, the key, and I have a picture of a few people around a conference table, and the word collaboration, I said the key is collaboration to looking to add new features. And I think that's the big thing. People get so impressed by an advertisement. And this big company with the C, I'm not going to mention the name, you probably know who I mean. They're an amazing marketing company. They're a great con artist company in getting you to buy the best crap that's in the market. And then when they don't have something that they want, you know what they do? They buy it for the highest dollar. And suddenly, oh, we're an expert in, gemology, or we're an expert in rockets, or we're an expert in nuclear. How'd you become? Well, we bought XYZ in there. That doesn't make you an expert, right? So I just want to conclude on this thought, and that is, if you're trying to build, a better rocket, or you're trying to build a better, whether it's a space shuttle, or you're trying to build a better boat, you have to first look at what you have now, survey, and find out what is it that you need to do. You need to allocate your resource. You need to put these things down. It takes time. Then you need to figure out the planning phase, your milestones. You don't just jump right into design. You got to survey it. What do we have now? What do we want to keep? What do we want to alter? And not what I want to keep. What is it that my end users, and end users, I don't just mean software. I mean a business owner is the person that's responsible for it, but the end users are the people that are going to use it. If they're boats, then they could be people in a marina. So figure out what your end user wants and design to their freaking problems. Don't design to what you want because you decided you want to put a gold trim on and you want to put a horn that sounds like, a duck.
Hey, you have those.
Quack, quack.
Well, you brought up some super points, and I think we do want to come back to this topic on maybe on the next one.
Oh, we surely will.
Because we'll
have to explore. We'll call it the hell of call centers.
Actually, we could do that live and call the people live, folks.
Oh, I would love to do that.
You know what? That would be a treat for people just to experience that. And we'll put you in live with us on the radio.
I would love to do that. And I would also love to do, for those of you who didn't catch, you have to catch my latest one last week where I was Hassan. If anyone's name is Hassan, I apologize. And I called in that I am Hassan from Microsoft Tech Support. And I'm here to help you with your computer. Please let me get in now so I can install software so bad guys can get in quickly.
Oh my God. I think I saw
the best one I do is I create a virtual environment. I put all kinds of X-rated content. I knock it to the woods. Call for tech support. I have that guy screwing around for a couple hours. So, oh my gosh, I think about, we fix it. How much am I going to owe you? We'll fix it first. How much are going to be? About $1,000? Okay, as long as you can fix it. Gets to the whole thing. And I said, do you know what a virtual terminal is? Oh, what? Okay, let me show you something. Okay, I'm going to just pause your session. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go to this computer, which is the one that you're currently working on. And I'm going to click re-image.
Oops.
And everything you've done has just been rebuilt because you were just playing with my software tool. Click.
Which means they didn't know what they were doing in the first place.
He ran a directory command with an S patch so that he could show his subject. He says, you got a lot of viruses. Really? Yeah. He says, we're going to get rid of all of them.
And then he wants to
He just
charge
ran
you.
a directory of all my, they must think you're stupid. I even told the guy, what I'm doing. Okay, we help you. I love when they try to fraud people, and we'll have a lot of fun. I love to eat these people for breakfast. I really have fun doing that.
Well, that's like going. Go ahead.
I know I love doing it because I hate it when these people exploit people every day that don't know what's going on.
Well, and that's unfortunately the case. I was just going to give the example, car mechanics, right? I mean, now they're good. Some of them are great, but a lot of them, you come in for a freaking fuse that you didn't know, and then you're walking up with a new transmission. You have no idea. This happened to me.
Which is the thing I did with the computer a few weeks ago, where I poured the water down on purpose, and they wanted to sell me a $1,900 motherboard when it was only a keyboard. So I think there's dishonest jokers in every industry. And this just proves the point that you need to shop local. The last point I'm going to end on, and that is just because they're on the market and have an attractive ticker symbol, and they're worth a few billion or million or zillion dollars, doesn't mean they're the best thing for you, your technology, your business, or whatever problem you have. Shopping local will help you time and time again.
Well, and you're right. There's a lot of businesses that are local, that are small. They're actually more dedicated. They're more like, boutique, and they can help you really the same way. And the price, I don't even think the price is going to.
Well, the price sometimes can be more, but I always tell people this, HH, you don't pay me always for the time I'm working. You pay me for my experience. So if I charged you X dollars and I fixed it in 15 minutes, it's still a minimum service call of the hour because you paid for my experience. You couldn't do that. I had a guy tonight I was on the phone with, and he said to me, John, I don't know whose fault it was. He said, but could you not charge me for tonight? I said, oh, okay. Meanwhile, I helped the person solve the problem by getting there. They were frustrated with it. But not with me. They're frustrated with Microsoft system. So I think, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a company or you're starting one or about to, why don't you think about the systems you decide to deploy before they actually infuriate your potential customers, or you might be in the red.
That's it. It's a wrap, baby.
That's it. We'll see you guys next week. And that is, hey, I cannot believe it, show number 12. But that's going to be the first, it's going to be the first Friday of November. And I'm really psyched because on November 5th, I'm actually being a first responder this year, and I'll be in the New York Marathon, helping many of the runners.
Oh, boy. That's going to be an interesting, but you've done it before. So
I've done it before. And
we will talk about
6 in the morning all the way till about 9 o'clock at night. But I'm not driving there. I'm taking Lyft. They're bringing me right to the tent, and they're going to pick me up at the end. I am not driving anywhere near New York or any transportation.
All right. Well,
all right, we got to say goodbye, everyone. We'll keep talking.
Yeah.
Watch our episodes again. There's so much stuff here, guys. Good night, everyone. Have a great weekend, and share us out.
Good night. Bye-bye.